The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi folks, Basil Chapman here. Dow's down 142, S&P's up 32. It's really a diverse market, bifurcated market at this particular point. I just wanted to show you this because I had a question come up. Could you explain your G/C in the Chapman wave methodology? What we're looking at here is, here's a good example. In the 1 minute chart, and one of the reasons why I didn't see my emails to say that, where's the Traders Corner this morning, my opening call newsletter, I thought I'd sent it. I got it done all very early. I thought I'd sent it out, and I was busy working away. I didn't look at my emails, and then all of a sudden I look and I see a whole bunch of questions. Say, where's it? And I sent it off late. But one of the questions that I had was about the G/C. So sometimes there's an alternate count where you get a Chapman wave instant restart after a peak D. Most of the time, that's when it occurs. Within 3 bars is a brand new high above that leg D. That starts an E, but that's exactly the moment that you can start saying, okay, maybe we've got an alternate count and go to a brand new buy signal to buy mode peak D. Well, what happens is you continue the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, and then you go E, F, G. But G, if it's still fairly strong technically, I always put G/C. One of the reasons is that, yes, you can get turns at G, but so often the strength, if it goes quickly to a G, the strength is so strong that there's a good chance that it's going to go make a cup formation and then make another higher high that goes to a D. Here you can see this is exactly what happened. You had a G and then it pulls back, and then it goes peak A right there, peak B, peak C, and then it finally gets to that peak D. So that's the reason why I keep the overlapping wave there. So that's one way to look at it. And then you can always from the cup formation, and what's so important about the G/C is that very often from the cup formation, you can take a left side price bar low, do a measured move from that trough, and you can go to the right. And I've done this a little quicker than I should have. That's exactly the low. And look at this. It came within a couple of bars of the exact low. The low was in fact hit. The low that we were talking about was the low of 4157.50, and look what happened. We went to 4158 a couple of times, and then on the exact bar of the measured move from that low. What a nice, easy technique. Arching over, and it comes back down, and right on the bar at 10:01 this morning Eastern time, we went to 41.55. We took it out, and now we're making another arch formation and about to test that low. And we've got a peak E in the 10-minute chart. So let me go back to the G/C as it's current, because that was really the question. So let me just show you. The Dow's down 230 at 33,986. I think it's a gain. Says Boeing's down a little bit. Honeywell down 6, and I must have had earnings. And Amgen is again weak. It was very weak yesterday. It's down again 9 points. So there you've got. You just need 2 or 3 in the Dow, and they can really take it. And that's the reason why I've been saying Dow has had its huge move up. Now we're going to see a rotation to the other sectors, but just like gold, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But let me just show you the G/C. So we've got the S&P. And that has gone to a G/C, but the 9 is way over the 14. The price is way over the 9. Price is way over the 4100.96 high of the December the 13th, which was also the double top from the first. And the on-balance volume is a little overbought, but not yet very overbought. The stochastic is still strong at 84%. The MACD is good. So I think there's enough strength to have a bit of a pullback and then have a sudden pop to a leg D. And then I think we've got to be really careful. So let me show you on the QQQ. The QQQ has gone to a G/C as well. It gapped up. You've still got some earnings report. I think it's Microsoft coming out today, so that impacts the Dow as well. But what I am looking at here is the same thing. You've gone above way above the 296.68 high of the 13th of December. The MACD is strong. The stochastic is very good at 86%. On-balance volumes are getting now quite overbought. The relative strength is still very strong. And the price is way above the 200-period moving average, which is way above the 9 in the way. So this is very strong action you've got. I'm calling this a leg E in the weekly chart. I might even have to alternate and call it an E/A over a period of time. I don't have to worry about that at this particular point. What I am talking about is this little doji candle, G/C in the daily chart says, and I'll draw it in. It doesn't have to be. This could turn out to be a G, but this is where I am very cautious, saying, hey. Spectacular move yesterday. Now it's showing some leadership, and I'll talk about the relationship, the same relationship that I talked about with gold and silver. I'll get to that in a moment. Just taking a moment here. Let me just get that. There it is. So in time, this is not going to be accurate, but more in price. So there could be a bit of a pullback. Maybe today, the overbought situation from the last hour of trading yesterday, we usually give some of that back, which means that there could be a little bit of a pullback and then a pop above, say, today's high is 309.15, and that sticks for the day. I suspect that we could have another little pop up to the 310, 311 area. And then I think on the shorter term, you've got to be careful. I'm going to keep talking about this in terms of the relationship that I've been looking at in gold and silver. Now, this is only a leg E in the IWM. Russell 2000, gosh, back in the 180 area, I was saying we should be looking at this as a buy, and I kept saying hold off. And here it is at 195, hit 197.45 this morning. What fabulous action. Look at the way it's out for the fourth week in a row. It's way above the inside track repellent zone. This is really a good piece of action, and it's going to pay dividends over the next few months. I'm at least the next 3 to 8 weeks. I think there should be a rally, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does get to a D in the weekly charts of most of these indices that have been lagging. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about. Gold. We had a short position in gold. I haven't had a short position in like 12 years or something like, I don't know how long. And I could have held it, but I said, no, we had to stop in place. And it was such a thinly traded, it's almost like you had to book an appointment to get a position in it. It's just not the way you want to be playing these things, unless you get a major trend, and then you will get, as volume keeps coming into that instrument, you will get your price easily. But if it isn't, it's hard to actually get in and out. So unfortunately, we're out of it, and now the gold is down 8 at 1934. Not the point. The point is it hit 1976. 1976, and it's at 1934. That's today. And I think gold, now let me talk about the relationship of gold to silver. As we've seen before, silver was acting so much better on a chart formation in the daily and the weekly charts than gold. It then topped out at about 24.30. That was the 3rd of January. Today's high is 24.75. Let me just go through that again. 24.77. So we're just under that, and now we're going towards the midpoint, the blue line, that midpoint that's so critical for silver. So what happens is that gold sees that silver's moving and says, oh my God, I got to catch up. And then when gold catches up, that's when silver's pulling back, and then they both together come down. So I'm watching this very closely. I'll be back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today, and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Hi, folks. Let me just get to this question that came up because we've had this a few times on this particular stock at PCL. Why did I never? I think I did write it in, but I had lost that information. I'll do it again. BCL, I'll give you a second. I'm just dragging this down. Let me just change mice and see if that's going to make a difference. Okay, click. Hopefully I click this and it doesn't go to buy something or sell something by mistake. There you are. So this left side, right side price time match says that BCL should make the... Oh, they've got approvals coming, possibly coming or not coming. 210 was the high on the 16th of December. It's trading at 200 right now, had a high of 2.03. It says that by tomorrow even we could touch that, 210 level. More importantly, you see the rectangle that's forming in the weekly chart. I don't even have to know what it is, but it is a biotech. And I'm going to just tell you that the name is, I'm going to lean forward here and see what it is. Brainstorm Cell, therapeutics. I mean, how can you go wrong with a Brainstorm? Okay, Brainstorm, well, once upon a time it hit 18, and then it did tumble a little bit down to the ones. So let's type that in. Brain, is it a capital S? No. So I think that's what I'm reading. It's a little far away from me. Cell therapeutics. All right. So what we're looking at here is, yes, this is really tough. Being instrumental in terms of in play right now and waiting for some kind of approval, that is so hard for regular players to be in, especially if you aren't really studying the biotech areas of biotech. I'm just going to say that I love the cup formation, love the rectangle formation, the way it goes down to the 120s and then it runs up to almost 2 and then it comes back again. So if this at any point snaps through, but it has to hold, it causes to have a biotech one-day spike and failure. If it can hold at 215 or higher, anytime in the next day or two, that's a really good sign. And basically what that's saying is that I'm trying to make support at 180 to 170 very important. But being a biotech, it could go, I mean, look at that. It whoops. It can whoop. 20 or 30% in a day, up or down. So all I can say is, yes, you've done your homework. And all I can say is that the people who trade and position themselves in biotech, it's a special breed. I have a neighbor, no, I can't call him a neighbor, he's about 3 blocks away, who I see every 4 years or 3 years or something, who's one of those, he's like a quant guy, he works for himself. I think he once upon a time did options, he did the analysis of options for some big company. But he has always had a fascination with biotech. And whenever I see him, he's busy talking biotech. He is so deeply involved. I mean, he understands everything about it. So I'm just saying, oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I'm not used to that. It was wonderful. Let me go to, so in other words, yes, BCLI is in play. But if you're waiting for approval, all I can say is you have to do your homework and be prepared for a really whippy thing. And either you're holding it and holding it and holding it, or you're trading it. So, and you did send me the details. I'll try if I can to read a little later on. I just have to go to see. I think we've got a caller. We have Brent and Martinez. Brent, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Basil. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, we've got a new thing. A little bell goes off in my ear. In fact, I was the one that suggested that. Our engineer just yelling out ear to say, you got to call it, because we can't switch from all these different screens all the time. And the bell's going off, and I'm looking around to see what is this, a wake-up call or something. But it was actually my producer saying, hey, get to your call right away. Brent in Martinez, California. You want to look at?
It's called Silvergate Capital Corp.
Oh, yeah. SI is a symbol.
Sam, I is an indigo.
So this is really fascinating. Every once in a while, I forget the at, and I hit for the symbol at, SI, which is my continuous contract symbol, and I hit SI and it pops up, and wow, this is a heartbreaker. It's either a pleasure, a golden pleasure maker, or a heartbreaker. Because when it's on the way down, it just goes down. It went from 100 and something down to 10. I would say that's a 90% decline. But when it goes up, it does exactly what it's done today. It's up $6, up 37% at 22.19. SI is a symbol, and it's called Silvergate Capital Core. There's another one that I always see like this that I can't remember the name, but I don't really follow it other than I see the symbol once in a while, and I say, oh, yes, that's that crazy one. So I'm just guessing now that you bought it at about 14.50 or 15.30 yesterday.
In the 13s, yeah.
In the 13s, okay.
Yeah, but what I wanted to ask you, Basil, it looks like it shows it best on your monthly. I was just intrigued by if you look at it's almost perfectly symmetrical. It should be 14 months from, you take that center point, go to the left
got it.
or the right.
Okay, but just before we go there, I just want you to draw in to see whether or not, I believe that this is an island reversal to the upside today. Yes, it is, by about 3 cents. Okay. So I'm going to do this for subscribers, and let me go to the left side low. You know, if you take it from the candle in 2021 to the midpoint, you're looking at that midpoint that went to the high of, was that June? No, November of 2021 at 174.99. Is that what you're looking at?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm going to do the right side. And that says from that particular low to, I'm getting it to last month. But there's a symmetry between the low that was made in the candle of June of 2020 at 14.17 and the low that was made in January of 10.81. Let me just double check. Is that 14? Yes, 14 and 10. But there is a symmetry there. More importantly, what I'm looking at is that if you look at the arch formation, I don't know if you use the stochastic in the monthly chart, but the stochastic in the monthly chart is actually crossed positive, even though it's down at 2%. I mean, it was even lower than that in a monthly chart. To hit a stochastic of in the 1% area, that's like seeing 99% or 99.2 or something in the stochastic on the upside, because it never goes above 100, never goes below minus 100. So the sell intensity has been so great that you almost couldn't get much lower on the stochastic. Now it's pretty much maybe doubled to 2.14. It's still pathetic, but this is exactly what you want to see when lows are being attempted, that you go backwards. So you go to the long term, and that's the monthly. But if you go to the weekly, you'll see that the histogram has been improving. And in fact, it is for the first, well, we've just begun February, we're 2 days into February, but it's the first time it's above 0. And that's a good sign. If you look at the stochastic, it's at 6%, and the on-balance volume is. This is a really interesting one to talk about. Can you hold on a moment, and we'll get to it?
Yes, I will.
Okay, folks, we're looking at SI, and that's Silvergate Corporation, Silver Company.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So folks, we're on with Brian from Martinez, California. We were looking at SI, which is Silvergate Capital Corporation. Anyway, I just need to. Is that the name, or does it actually? Does it have anything to do with silver? That's the reason why I always looked at it, and I now can't remember.
No, it actually has more to do with cryptocurrency is why I got so beat up.
Crypto. Okay, then I remember now, as I was asking you, I remember it being some kind of financial something or other, because it's Capital Core. And I'm busy thinking, why is this moving up so sharply when silver is down? So that absolutely makes sense. So now look what we've got. And this is really fascinating because I had a couple of other financials that really low cap, single digit stocks that were showing strength. And I'm looking at this the same as I'm looking at the realty REITs, and I'm looking at the home builders, and I'm saying, what is going on here with all this bad news, and yet they're doing so well? So this is the same thing. But if you look at the weekly, so is that the week? No, the daily chart. There's a rectangle that's formed, and that rectangle, I'm going to make it now a little bit larger. That rectangle goes to the high of, having a little mouse trouble here. There it is. So that's the high of the 4th of January this year, which had a high of 22.08. And here we are, having hit 24.69 already this morning. So we're out of there. That means I like to look all the way to the left side, and there's a little bump right here at, we're already above that. So the major thrust says at 29.84, the high of the 25th of November. Isn't it fascinating how within days we're looking at, days or maybe even weeks, but in a shorter time frame, after all the moves down, you've got a sudden spike to the upside, and it just takes out innumerable bars on the left side and just leaves them behind. And that says what you're really doing, and this is the most important thing about this particular issue. Now, I don't know if you're going to be holding this or whether you're going to be getting rid of it or whatever, but this is what you want to see in a longer-term move, like you've seen in the stocks, like the Shopify's, like the 3D systems, like the ones that have just been hammered, like ARKK, Kathy Wood, her fund, where in just a short period of time, it just gets rid of all the downside move and it's in fresh territory. And then what I like to do is I say, from this moment on, and I'm going to just draw this in, it's a little early, a little premature to do it, but this is my thinking, that in a stock like SI, Silvergate Capital Corporation, there's a chance that now the tide has shifted and that from the low that was made at 10.81, the week of the 6th of January, we are starting to make higher highs and higher lows, and that the low that was made might not have to be retested, or at least for quite a while. That's really the thinking. But you have to be practical and say, here's a gap. It's an item reversal. That means the whole area of the 18s is kind of vulnerable if there's a sudden turn down. So as it stands right now, this is spectacular. I am willing to bet that yesterday, when you went to sleep, you were not anticipating that there was a 40% or 45% gain when you woke up the next morning. Am I correct?
No, it's a gift. I have to admit, it's a gift.
So I always think that you're not asking me, I'm just saying, in the spectrum of money management, what I tend to say is, hey, this is greater than a gift. It is the gift of once in a very, very long period of time that you get this kind of thing. So I always say, take a little bit off to reward yourself and have maybe 3 positions. One is the one that you took off and you think you might add back if it holds very well. The other is to just have some kind of a stop in place from your entry point that says, I'm guaranteed a really good profit. I don't want to give that up. I did a lot of thinking and I did a lot of preparation to get this. I don't want to give it up. And the other one is to have maybe a split position that says, if I can keep my core, I could have a split position that trades. Now, I found over the last week, for instance, for subscribers, we've had a number of positions that I did not get in. We missed by pennies, but I was really kind of strict because the market was really choppy. And if they failed, they could have made that arch formation and pulled back very quickly. And therefore, I needed to be disciplined. And then they just got away. The big problem with things that get away is it just leaves you hanging there saying, oh my God, thank God I've got other things that are working, but I've missed, and I thought it through, I just didn't get that right. And the other thing to do then is to have a split position that says, I don't care. It's looking good. It's acting well. I'm going to take half my risk by getting in something and then putting another part of it in if it drops to a certain level, but then I have a stop on that. So 3 positions. One is your core. One is your quick trading position. Says, wow, what a gift. I'm taking something off. Maybe I'll put that back on a pullback because it still looks strong. And the other is to have kind of a almost like a third position, and that's a split position that says, I want to try to get another core position. So I don't know how you want to do. Oh, I should have said the fourth one is just to say, fantastic, I'm out. That is great. Maybe sometimes that's just the easiest. And in this particular market, that's one that has worked very well for some of these big spikes because they've been given back. But I like your idea of getting in, and now you can think about it. It gives you a little time. But you also have to be wary that there was some oblique, something that came out of the blue that really lifted it up today. And then this is both short covering and maybe new buyers, but the new buyers could be trapped. So I'm always a little wary of something as quick as this. But anyway, I congratulate you. Once again, you're prepared, you got it, and now you have the pleasure of deciding what's next.
Yeah, it's been actually a phenomenal year so far, Basil. I was talking to Steve about it. I did a lot of shopping towards the end of last year. There were so many stocks and a lot of them in the area you were talking about. I saw you mention IWM earlier. So a lot of the small cap stocks that have really, really been beaten down. I mean, even going back to at least the March 2020 lows, even below. So I've got a whole list. At some point, I'll call you about the others. But I much appreciate your help with this one today. Have a fantastic day, and I always appreciate your help, Basil.
And as always, you did all the work, and I just gave you some references. But congratulations. Very nice, Brent. Very proud of you. That's wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Basil.
You too. So, folks, we wanted to go through a couple of questions came in. Yesterday, I think 3 or 4 days ago, Uber was mentioned. Could I do an analysis? And I did an analysis on Uber, and I drew in. It was over here. It was over here. And I said there should be a leg D above UBER is a symbol. And there's Uber Tech, rides, food delivery, etc. And it hit 31.11 in leg C. So I drew this and I said there could be Chapman wave stalk leg formation, but because it's so short, it could even turn out to be a 1-to-1 to the upside. But I'm anticipating, and I drew this in. I said I'm anticipating a leg D and then a pullback into the body to test if it's a stalk leg formation. But I let's see if it gets to the leg D. Well, it got to that leg D, and I drew in an inverted V like a pyramid, and I drew it up, and I drew it down, and it did that yesterday. Look at today. It extended that leg D. So I drew this to retest the body. Instead, this is still leg D. It looks great because now it's trying to tackle the weekly leg D, and that says that Uber could go above 34.33 for leg D, and that'll be the ABC. This is already D, technically in the weekly chart. I'll be back in a moment.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
So just to go back to the Uber chart, this conglomeration right here, I'd said also could be the propeller shaft, Chapman wave propeller shaft, that you could get a move, not the full extent of the one-to-one to the upside, but you could get a breakout, and that breakout could take you to at least to the gap or doji candle, and that would be this candle right here, and you've already got, look, a 1-to-1, even greater than that, to the upside, and that's really positive. But what I wanted to explain is, in the Chapman wave, since tomorrow's Technical Friday, I'll start some of this there, maybe do some more tomorrow. Look, this is your starting point in Uber. The low of the week of July the 1st at 19.90. So that 19.90, 7.123. That low is the low that you count each successively higher peak. And then I wanted to show you this. In fact, I had this as a note a couple of weeks ago, and I completely forgot about it. I wanted to show you that this is not an A. You can't make a leg A at a low. It only at an instant restart at peak D. In other words, you have to wait. You don't know that this is not still a leg F to the downside, that it's a trough, until you get the higher low on the right side. So you can't have that as an A. That is your first A. Then it goes B, then it goes C above the inside track repellent zone. Then it comes back sharply and makes another peak A, B, C, call them gray A, gray B, gray C. Why? Because it's off this low right here. Every peak. Yes, and that's the thing. Chapman wave is a waveform that never sleeps. And then finally it breaks out, and this leg becomes leg D, even though it's below that peak C. Now, what will happen is if it goes above this, what did I say, 34.33 high, goes to 34.34 by 1 penny, that becomes an overlapping peak C, and that says you should go to a D. Of course, you're already in D. And then you can come back and do some retesting of the breakout level. So isn't that interesting? And it's not yet a leg B in the monthly chart, but that will be. This is good action. I was asked if I would also look at Lyft. Lyft is a little different. Lyft has a very completely, it's not a comparable chart pattern at all, but the daily is spectacular. The daily has gone very quickly from a low in the 9s, 27 or something? 9.66, there it is. On the 28th of December, it goes, look, peak A, peak B, peak C, peak D, leg E. And it could be an instant restart here as well. Isn't that incredible how many of these takeoffs? And this is the reason why I mentioned the gold and silver before. So the Dow was the leader for weeks, months, in fact. Absolutely spectacular. Now the Dow, as I said before, a couple of weeks ago, we haven't been adding to the long side in the last couple of days, is because I've been thinking the rotation says that now you can see the small caps, you can see the index 100, you can see catch-up. The SMHs, even the semiconductors, are playing catch-up. So now the Dow can have a bit of a breather while you're looking at other areas coming on strong. And that can last for a little bit before, like the gold and silver relationship. Let's just go back there. So we're going to go at GC. The continuous contract was down somewhat before. Now it's only down 2, but it's way off the high of 1975. It's down at 1940. So I'm looking at this. It's only a leg C in the weekly chart, so that's still positive. But in the shorter term, look, showing you the chart. Maybe I'll do it. Yeah, look at this weekly chart of gold and look at the weekly chart of silver. So the silver chart was much more mature, and then it went to a peak E, and now it's just kind of stalling. It's not breaking down, it's just stalling. So now I'm saying to you, have a look at the Dow chart, IND. Look at the weekly chart of the Dow. Fantastic move up from the low of the 28,000s. It runs all the way to the 34,700s, pulls back, and now it's in a consolidation phase as QQQ. Look at the weekly chart, the middle chart. Look at that breakout to the upside. It hasn't taken out key resistance to go to the 340s yet. But look, the MACD is good. Finally, we've still got 2 days to go, 2.5 days to go. There's an L, meaning the 9-period moving average has finally crossed positive, and it's way above the inside track repellent. Now it's the propellant zone. The stochastic is at 71% on its way to 80. On balance volume is lagging. Is this going to give us a clue that it finally gets over 80% and gets overbought? That gives us a lot of room. I'm saying in the very short term, I think we're getting a little bit toppy in the just because of the big rally that we've had, and there should be some kind of consolidation. But that weekly chart is suggesting that we actually are seeing the rotation we've been anticipating, and I call these high-level anticipation, high-level consolidations. So that instead of breaking down, as the one area that was fantastic takes a breather, another area takes over. That's all we're looking at, rotational corrections. We've seen that since the summer of 2010. Very nice. Basil, can you post Sophie real quick? Yep, Sophie, I think that's how they pronounce it, Sophie. Whoa, look at that weekly chart, making a beautiful cup formation, trying to garner strength to break over 852. Today's high is 820. It's almost there. So here's your ABC. Did it take out the left side high? Yes, that's an instant restart. So you've got a potential overlapping wave here. So yes, I'm calling this a leg F to the upside at this particular point, but it could be F/B. Very, very strong. Getting a little bit overbought by any measure. That makes the whole area of the 200-period moving average that it was at 3 days ago and the 6.75 area really important support. Let's call this F. And because it's so strong, just to say there could be an alternate count, be prepared that this could be a B at this particular point. Nothing to talk about in terms of saying, oh, get out. No, but I would say be prepared that this could start a little choppy move here with the on-balance volume being this overbought. The stochastic at 93% is great. MACD is still expanding. This is really good action. SoFi Technologies, Inc., online banking and financial solutions. Question came in. Oh, I didn't look at that. Basil, XLE today closed a gap from 1.5. Thoughts going forward? Thanks. So I've been talking about the XLE as being in a consolidation phase. Let's just see where it is today. Today it is down 126. It made a peak G. Remember, I put this in as a G and I said, I call it a Chapman wave instant restart because it did go to leg E within 3 bars, but then it pulled back and went way underneath the low of D, and then it went to a peak F fractionally, pulled back, and then it spiked up to a G. I said, I think I'm calling it G for now, and it's got a peak C, maybe a peak C1, C2 in the daily, a weekly chart, and the monthly chart is pulling back a little bit. I'm calling this the consolidation that we've been talking about. That it isn't, I don't see it going yet to new highs. I think that it will a little later on, but it needs this consolidation phase. If it takes out 82, it's at 87 right now. If it closes under 82 in the next week and a half, I think that's more of a problem in time and price. But at this particular point, it's holding quite well. Oh, look at that. Side one, stereo. When you're hot, you're hot. Okay, I'm going to be back in a moment. Dow's down 68, S&P's up 59. What a diverse action we're seeing. Basil Chapman, Tiger Conditions Hour, and we've got to talk about something else as soon as I return.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. So just let me show you. Remember, we were talking about peak G/C in the Chapman Wave methodology. Why I do it? What's the reasoning? Well, look, here we went to, in the 1 minute chart, you had an instant restart, so that's E, think E/A, F, think F/B, G/C, which says you can make a little cup formation and then rally to D, and that's where you've got to be real careful. So here we are. We're just making leg D, maybe a peak D, and that says on any pullback, this is a 1 minute chart. This is not a monthly chart, a 1 minute chart. It says that 4182, we're at 4194, 4182 area is going to be key support. 4181 actually is going to be key support in the near term. But money just keeps flowing into these different areas that were terribly weak and are now having a strength. So right here, you can get your peak D. I haven't got a negative crossover, so you don't want to anticipate it. Every time I do this anticipation, it costs me at least a point. I have very tight stops, maybe 2 points. But wait, have patience. When it finally turns red, goes under the 14, we can still have another move up. You've got your rectangle, you're out of the rectangle, you're above it, narrow rectangle, so we watch it closely. So I'm just going to say you've got a great program coming up. Steve Rhodes, of course, wonderful shows. Thinkorswim, You've got Larry Pesavento, Dave White, Tom O'Brien wraps up afterwards. We start off the morning with Tommy O'Brien, and we're technicians and we love what we do, and that's why we're so enthralled with all these movements. So A-bus was a question, and it's right at peak beef. It doesn't make a new high today. It's at 295. I would say the 280s is really important support, and the 308 to 312, and this is news, which is important, but it should go to a C. So in the meantime, I'm wrapping up right here. Oh my, we missed such a fantastic position today because my newsletter was out late. I'll be back tomorrow. Check it out, my newsletter, the opening call, and we'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for a great program, and have a wonderful day.